MG Rob back with you, and today we're going to look at the brake light switch as used on 68 and later MGBs, MGCs, and Spridgets. But before we get into that, I realized that I never did show Captain Oblivious's car with the headlights and the grille installed. I was going to do a video on putting those in, but we were so short on time trying to get them done that I just didn't have time to set up the camera and do it. All right, so the brake light switch that Moss currently sells looks like this when they have them in stock. As of right now, they're on back order. But it is part number 181980. Now it comes with this long of a wire because in at least some of the Spridget applications, it requires that long of a wire. But if you're playing with a B, you only need wire about that long. Now most people will just coil the wire up, stuff it in somewhere, and call it a day. Now this one here, I'm going to be sending to a customer of mine whose brake light switch failed. And I'm going to be go ahead and cutting it down to a close length to this and putting better quality bullets on it because they ship these things with these readily available but fairly cheap bullets. So what generally happens to these things is the contacts inside get either corroded or dirty over time sitting on, or they get little burnt spots in them. Usually the newer ones like this get little burnt spots in them because the contacts in them just aren't quite as good a quality as the original ones. Now the way these things work is they'll have continuity until you press the button in. So as long as the pedal, because the way the pedal activates on it is the pedal's pressing on it in the relaxed position. And once you press on the pedal, it pulls away from it, activating the brake lights. So if we test one of these like this, you'll find out that you have no continuity at all. Now these things can be taken apart and they can be cleaned. Because you can get in there and you can pry this apart. You gotta be careful not to break them. Most people opt not to because these things list for $11. So most people just don't tear into them, they replace them. And if you're going to do the repairs on these, it's not really that worth doing on the newer aftermarket ones. But you can take these things apart, and it's just a contact here. So you got a plunger here that pushes down on this contact here and makes contact between these two. And a lot of times you get a little burnt spot on the, like on the bottom of one of these contacts, and then it no longer makes contact and provides continuity. So what I'll generally do is cut these things down, and the easy way to do it, you can pull back here, make sure you got about as much sticking out here as what you want sticking out beyond to connect all the wires. I'm gonna cut it a little longer than this because this is the shortest they ever used them. Sometimes they were a little longer. So then we'll cut it, say about in here. Then you can just pull it back and strip your wires and put the bullet connectors on it. Now I have this nice kit here, which is all the stuff Moss sells for crimping the connectors on, along with their special tool, which is supposed to be ratcheting, but my ratchet broke the other day. I still gotta get in there and try to see if I can fix it. They're just gonna strip them, and these things come in 18 gauge, 16 gauge, and 14 gauge. The size of the center hole is different on each one of them. So you just put it on there. Line this up here and crimp it. And that's as easy as that. Now this crimp-on style connector is what you're getting anymore when you buy new harnesses. Original harnesses used soldered-on connectors. This is a solder-on one, so you tin the wire, put it over there, and then solder it on. But since these seem to work fine, you're going to have people that are going to argue either way of which one's better. But these seem to work fine. I haven't had any issues with them, except that I have noticed that recently I've been having some of these here that want to break right when you get to crimp. Like the consistency of the metal in them is not quite as good as they should be, and they get slightly brittle and then want to break just as you get almost a full crimp where it can hold on to the wire properly. All right, so that was just a quick tech video that I thought might be of interest to you guys. If you did like it, let me know. Tell me if you want more of that type of stuff. I know it wasn't super exciting, but it is good information. So as always, like, subscribe, share with your friends, and don't forget to hit the notification bell if you want to know when I'm uploading new videos. So this is MG Rob. Later.